Hi guys, it's Nicole Costa, and today I'm just going to dive right into a topic that I am so passionate about. I mentioned it last week in my restaurant video, how to eat healthy when you're dining out, and I said something about cell phones, no cell phones at the dinner table, and immediately I woke up inside and I'm like, that's it, that's my message, that's what I want to share with people. And I know that everyone likes to talk about diet and fitness and exercise. That's not me. So if you're trying to find somebody who's just going to give you a meal plan and a diet plan and an exercise plan, please find someone else. I am so much more interested in the whole of your life being complete, because that's what's going to make you make the healthy choices. So I truly believe that cell phones are a huge stumbling block in not only our fitness progress, but in just our enjoyment of life. I feel like they are like the mask, our safety blanket. We can't leave home without them. We get nervous if we don't bring them with us. What are we going to do? How are we going to reach anybody? What if we miss something? You know, FOMO, fear of missing out. Like somebody's going to announce that they're getting married or going to message you something super important that you're going to miss out on. And I think we need to break that addiction. And it is an addiction. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's a total addiction. And I don't say that out of a place of judgment. I honestly say that out of a place that I feel like I've missed out on some special moments and I haven't been present in some special moments because of my cell phone that I really want to share with others. Let it go. It's not that important. You know, we're so concerned with being rude, not responding to comments right away on social media, or being rude to those people, to total strangers, when your child might be sitting next to you having called your name mom, 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 like 3 times, and you can't even pay attention because you're stuck in the cell phone scrolling or answering or whatever the case may be. So I think it's an adjustment of priorities, and I'm going to talk about how our cell phones can affect our health, but also that you can enjoy your life more. So here's the problem that I see with cell phones, and I have researched this and how cell phones are making us gain weight. Our cell phones are causing so much extra stress in our life that we never, as a society, as a culture, have had these kind of stresses placed upon us where we are accessible 24 hours a day. Somehow it became okay to work 24 hours a day or to be on call 24 hours a day. That used to be like a doctor thing, and even they would get rotation, from being available 24 hours. But now it's across the board. Everybody's available 24 hours. And I have heard it said in research that it is the same response as our ancestors used to feel when they were being chased by lions or wild animals. The same response that they got, an increase in cortisol level, is the same response that we can have when we get a notification on our phone. So it's sending our cortisol through the roof, and we already know, most of us know, that increases belly fat especially, but our fat hormone. So we're storing excess fat just because of this undue stress that we have. The second problem, and probably why I think most of us are addicted to our cell phones, is social media. And social media is great. I'm using social media right now to talk about the problem of social media. So I definitely believe in social media and its benefits for connecting with people that we would never otherwise have come in contact with across the globe. But we are extremely addicted to that high of likes, comments, followers, the rejection of unfollowing, unfriending. All of that is placing a lot of different feelings that, are really compounding that we didn't have to deal with. I mean, you might have had a friend in high school or something that rejected you, but now it's exacerbated with social media because there's the bullying, or for our kids, to be addicted to social media and that high that they get, it's like a habit, so you can get depressed if you're not invited to the party. You see a girls' night out and you're like, hey, I never knew about that, or anything at all, there's so much rejection that you can feel, insecurities, judgment, and that's all in one tunnel of social media. So it gives us a high, so we feel like a drug, but then it also gives us a super low. And we know when our emotions are all over the place, that is not the greatest place for our bodies physically to be, to lose fat and have our fitness levels that we're trying to achieve. This problem is probably the most obvious when we see people on their cell phones. They're living a more sedentary life. Typically, I know fit people are using cell phones too. I'm not totally crazy. But when you're seeing people on their cell phones, I mean, you literally can walk down a street and it almost looks like everybody's head is buried in a cell phone. Nobody can like get away from it. So I think that's what builds this passion in me, is like, why can we not remove ourselves from this phone? Like, what is it about it? So obviously we're addicted, but the lack of fresh air has been proven to be super beneficial for your health. I mean, working out outdoors, I actually took my workout outdoors today for the first time in a very long time. And yes, it does feel different. There's something about being in nature that does something to like our lives, our minds, that makes us kind of zen, you know, like we're one with nature. And yeah, it works. But if you're not present when you're in nature, you're not going to get those benefits. So you can't have your head buried in a phone when you're out on the beach, or you know, you want to share that moment with everybody, right? Like take a photo of the waves, a video, and you know, peaceful paradise, hashtag everything. So we're so busy sharing these moments, our nature moments, our zen moments with other people, that we're not even getting the full benefits of being out in nature. Okay guys, I'm going to talk about one of my biggest pet peeves, and more heartbreaking than a pet peeve, is kids on gadgets constantly. I think it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. It makes me want to cry. I'm going to tell you a story. We were at Animal Kingdom for my son's 5th birthday, and we went to Rainforest Cafe there in the park for lunch to celebrate. And there was a little kid in a high chair next to us at our table, and he was on his tablet the entire time. I'm thinking the kid might not have even been 2, and I'm like, he looked like a zombie. And that's what all the kids look like when they're on their gadgets. Like literally, you could put anything in front of them. They don't notice anything around them. And I'm thinking, okay, number one, how boring did Disney have to become for you to bring your kid's tablet? Like, Disney's not exciting enough? Anyway, that's another story. I digress. But this kid was on his tablet the whole time, eating mindlessly, had no idea what he was eating. He screamed when they tried to take his plate away, the waitress, because he wasn't done, but you never could have told because he was just like taking these long breaks. He had no idea what was going on around him. Now, I assume the mom and the sister were there on their phones the whole time. So a table of 3, 2 adults and 1 child, baby, on their gadget the entire meal. I'm like, what happened to interaction? And that has stuck with me ever since. And that's not the only case I've seen, but for some reason that one stuck with me because I just thought it was so tragic at Disney, of all places, you know, this exciting place and everything's stimulating there, you would think. And these people are just lost in their own little world, like with blinders on, you know, and their cell phones. I'm like, what is so exciting? That's an addiction. That's an addiction. And that is what we need to break free from if we're going to reach our fitness goals, our health goals, our wellness goals, our hashtag life goals, because there's so much more to life outside of that screen. And so that's just one example, but I see kids on their parents' cell phones in the grocery store, you know, like in the buggy, in the cart. And I'm thinking, those are prime times to talk to your kid, to teach them about colors and produce. You know, what color is this apple? Or, you know, what's the best deal if the kids are older? What's the best deal on this bean or that bean? You know, you can talk to them, engage, educate them while you're having this experience. But there are no experiences. We're missing out on so much because of the cell phone. So again, I'm heartbroken every time I see these little kids, because I think, okay, adults, we have kind of a choice, but these kids, it's like almost the new pacifier. We give these phones to our kids and we're thinking, here, hush, hush, you know, just stay busy so you don't bother mommy. I'm like, no, they're supposed to bother mommy. That's our job. Like, don't push your job off on a phone. It's not going to do what you need to be doing. How we handle it in my house is I have 3 kids, ages 10, 7, and 5. And they are allowed their gadgets, could be the Xbox, the iPad, or a phone, between Thursday afternoon through Sunday. Now, keep in mind, we're not home all that much, but when we are home, they are allowed those days. But Monday through Wednesday, there's no gadgets. That's most of the weekday. And they do have to finish their homework on Thursday before they get their gadgets. And that kind of keeps us in track. So although they do have it, they're not attached to it for the whole week. I wish I could do that for myself, and I probably should, but we're getting there. Baby steps, right? But I think it's awesome. We have family game nights and we engage. You know, that's the thing that's missing. And I think that's one of the pieces that's missing from our fitness goals is the lack of engagement. We don't even know why we feel unfulfilled or unsatisfied, depressed, rejected, insecure. And a lot of it is because we're stuck in a zone in technology. We were never meant to be like that. We were never meant to live this way. So overall, we're just addicted. It's really a safety blanket that we've gotten used to, and we feel like we are not safe or we can't function without it. So that's what creates an addiction. And you're probably saying, oh, but I work from my phone, Nicole. How am I going to get rid of this? I can't limit my time. You actually can. We'll get to that later. Solutions for breaking the addiction, or at least lessening its control of your life. Some of us are so busy posting motivation and inspiration and our exciting moments that we're not even fully enjoying those moments because we're so busy posting about it and replying to comments about how lucky we are and have a great time and that's so motivational. It is, and I think it's great to be able to share those things, but not to the point where it takes away from the actual moment that you're in. A lot of times I won't even post anything until I'm home from an event. If I go to Disney or something, I won't post about it, maybe like one picture, but I don't want to post about it there because I don't want to see the notifications. I don't want the notifications to interfere with my time away, with my precious time with my kids, my family. That's where my heart is. And I know that I'm going to feel guilty if I allow my phone to rob me of that. So I have in the past, but that's how we learn. And that's how we share that message with others. So that's why I'm sharing with you today. So we've talked about the problems of cell phones and how that can contribute to our emotional distress and ultimate weight gain, possibly. But now we're going to talk about the solutions because everybody needs a solution, right? You can't just talk about the problems. One of the first things that I go to when I'm trying to break my own cell phone addiction is I delete the apps that I'm most likely to go to. For me, that's social media or my big time waster apps. Facebook, I don't even like Facebook. Like, I don't even like to spend time on there because it is such a time waster. But sometimes I will have to delete the app from my phone. It doesn't delete your account, it just deletes it from the phone because that's the most accessible place that we have to go to our social media. Delete Instagram or whatever it is that's taking your time, Twitter. That could be different for each one of you. So that is a huge help for me. And sometimes it'll be like a week and I'll feel like, okay, I got a handle on it. You know, I've broken the habit of constantly checking if I'm at a red light and I just get bored. We don't even know what to do with our boredom anymore. That used to be when people had ideas in the boredom times, but we don't allow ourselves to get bored because we're constantly stimulating our minds with our phones. So as soon as our brain like shuts down a little bit, it's like, pull out the phone. We got to do something with our hands or something with, something's got to stimulate our mind. So delete the apps, try that. Also, I fast from social media. That could be for various times, various reasons. I know a lot of people are starting Lent right now and are fasting from social media or at least one platform of social media. I think that's a great idea. I think that to take a 6-week, 8-week hiatus from any of the social medias that you're really addicted to or attached to is a great idea because it's really amazing. Once you break away, you almost have no clue what you're missing out on until you cut that tie. So cut it. Don't be afraid. You're not deleting your account. Your account's still there. Just cut the tie, fast from it, and use that time that you would be on there, use it wisely. Get a pen and paper out, have ideas. My husband had told me, he read a book that it said, write 10 ideas down a day. Well, a lot of times our minds are so filled with what we're doing on our phones and scrolling and wasting time really, that we don't have ideas of our own. We're just letting everybody else's ideas into our minds. So write down your own ideas, have ideas, and you'll be surprised. Once you shut off the external noise in your world, your brain will have ideas. So they could be bad, good, just write them down. Do this during your fast from social media and let me know how it goes. You might be the next one on Shark Tank. Who knows? My favorite one of all, be present with those who are in your presence. And I mean, really engage with people, the ones who are in the room with you, sitting next to you, face to face, because they're the ones missing out on your company, on your lessons. A lot of us have stuff to share with the next generation that we're not getting to. And yes, we might post about it, and blog about it, but like, talk to somebody. I think it's such a lost art. I think etiquette is a lost art. I mean, when did it become okay to sit across the table from somebody and have your head buried in a phone? When did that become okay? I wonder sometimes. I even ask my family, I'm like, how did we get here to this place? We don't particularly use our cell phones at the dinner table, but I just look around at restaurants and I'm like, holy cow, when did this become okay? And like, it's little by little, and it just overtakes society because it becomes the norm. So I'd like to rewind and go back to when looking people in the eye was the norm, shaking hands was the norm, social graces and etiquette and politeness and actual attention to what somebody else had to say was the norm. You will stand out so much if you learn to master this now, because it's so rare that you have a great chance to get a promotion or get ahead in life, get ahead in a job, a position. As a student, you can get ahead with your teacher. If you share those personal skills that are really being lost right now in this generation, you could stand out, and that would be good for you. I mentioned this before, but something I love to do with our family is the family game night. Our kids are of the age where they can play games and they're old enough to, read questions on a card or understand instructions. So it's so cool. I think it's amazing. I love this stage, and I always thought I was a baby person, but I'm loving this stage of their life. And I don't want to miss out on these moments. I remember now, when my youngest, who's 5, was nursing, and I nursed him for a long time, but I remember, being at midnight, and I would be like scrolling my phone nursing, and I'm like, what the heck did I have to do on the phone that was so important that would take me away from that precious moment of my last baby nursing for his last times, And yes, you can riddle yourself with guilt over these things too. I don't recommend that. But, it's okay to reflect sometimes and think, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, And again, there were plenty of precious moments that I had, nursing all 3 of my children. But I do think, I do regret that. I do regret scrolling my phone while nursing. That's such a beautiful moment. Why would I want to replace that with anything else? Or what could be so important from a stranger's post? Because that's what happens. We end up looking at stranger stuff. What would be so important to take me away from this precious moment with my little child, So again, live and learn, and then we teach others. Okay, how many of you look at all of your social media before bed? Now, how many of you have problems sleeping? Because I would bet it would be the same number of you that look at the social media before bed. It has been proven that if you look at social media, or your phone really, because the lights are so bright on your phone, if you look at that within the hour before you go to bed, your circadian rhythms are off, not allowing you to get into the deep, restful sleep that you need for recovery, for weight loss, for health, just for regeneration of your cells in your body. So I'm going to tell you, turn off the cell phone, 60 minutes at least, 90 minutes is preferable before bedtime. Turn it off. Somehow TV isn't quite as bad for you and your sleep as your cell phone is, because your cell phone is more engaging. TV you can kind of do mindlessly and watch, you're not really engaging, but your cell phone, you might be replying to texts or looking at emails, feeling like you have 5,000 tabs open in your mind, and it's just a little too stimulating before bed. So that could affect your sleep. I mean, how many hashtags have I seen, can't sleep, or I wish I could sleep? This is what people are posting at 2 a.m. And I hope I don't hurt anyone's feelings, but get off your phone. Sorry, did I say that? Yeah, I'm serious though. Get off your phone. It's gonna help you sleep better. Don't post about it when you can't sleep. All you're doing is engaging, looking for other people who can't sleep on their phones. So do yourself and your friends a favor and just put the phone down and go to sleep. Well, I hope that I haven't stepped on too many toes out there between telling you that your kids are too much on their gadgets or go to sleep instead of posting about not sleeping. But I really do it out of love, and I hope that you got something from this. And maybe you can kind of think about, am I addicted to my cell phone? Am I addicted to social media? The answer for most of us is yes. So what can you do about it? You know, limit your time boundaries, really be guarded with your time on social media. And, you know, I'm into intermittent fasting for my eating. You know, maybe you could try intermittent fasting for your cell phone. Put a timer on. Allow your husband or wife to tell you, hey, I think you've been on a little bit too long, you know, maybe you can join the family. Hint, hint, like we want you around. I definitely believe in an accountability partner for any goal that you're trying to reach. So I would say give your husband or wife accountability over you to hint at you when you've been too long on your phone, even if you're working. You know, it's like trying to work in a shopping mall that's full of hustle and bustle. Like, that's what working on your phone is like, because there's so many things vying for your attention, apps that you want to go to. And half the time I get on my phone to do something, you know, to check a status of something, like an order or write a note in my notes, and I even forgot why I turned it on. Like, why did I unlock my phone? That's how bad it is. So pen and paper. Use a pen and paper. Don't be afraid to write your notes down on a pen and paper where you don't even have to open up your phone. Oh, gasp, I know. It's gonna be all right. We used to do that a long time ago, back in the olden days. So I hope that you guys really get the most out of your week. Spend a little or a lot less time on your phones. Engage with the people around you. They love you. They want you to be available. So anyway, have a great week, guys. Make the most out of it. I will see you next week. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with whoever you might think is on their phone a little bit too much, in a nice way. And please subscribe to my channel. I love reading your comments below, so keep in touch, engage with me, and I will get back to you when I am on my cell phone. Thanks so much. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.